Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video. It has been a while and I can only apologise for that. Completely my fault. I've been slacking. But look, we're back. So we are. Also using black coffee, no milk. It is unbelievable, like unbelievable. The plan of attack now is to go up, get some steps in, then get a wee haircut. It actually feels, I feel a bit awkward, like recording on my camera here, like what? Like normally I would be like, oh, who gives a fuck? But yeah, I feel a bit weird like. Today's video is going to be about the 7 lessons I've learned over the past couple of years of being 23 years young. But before we do that, we're going to go up and get a sexy haircut. Like, you can beat the wife, you can beat the kids, but you can't beat a black coffee. Like, nah, I'm not joking, like, but a black coffee is so nice. Like, Jesus, I am sexy. Does anyone ever get a haircut and think, Jesus, I am so sexy? Like, just me. Anyways, the fuck's sake, I feel to make. So the first lesson I wish I knew earlier was do not just do things just for money or money full stop. Reason being, when I look back, when it comes to football, I can relate to this lesson a lot. I was playing for a team called Ballyclare Conrads from their 21s and I was loving it. I was captain, I was scoring each week and I was obsessed with football, absolutely loving it. The club the first day a few times, you pay 30 quid to sit in the bench, like, but I was loving it. I didn't care, like, the pre-season came up, you got chances. And during pre-season, I was playing brilliant. I playing absolutely brilliant and I'm really enjoying it. This team came into me and I exposed the name of it, but there were 2 leagues below the level that I wanted to be playing at, where I was getting chances at during pre-season. And essentially they offered me £50. They says to me, I'll give you 50 quid a week if you join us, X, Y, and Z. So I had a discussion with the Ballyclare manager, first team manager, and he says, look, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't take that. You'll get chances here. You will get chances during pre-season and you're playing really well. So with that into consideration, I was like, right, I'm really enjoying my football. I'm captain on the 21s. I'm getting a chance with the first team. And although I'm obviously not getting paid much, 30 quid to sit in the bench, didn't get played and all the rest of it, I'm getting chances here and I'm really enjoying it. And it's a higher standard, higher league. But this is where the problem came into play. That team 2 leagues below came in for me again and offered me 70 quid and a 10 quid goal bonus. I was like, mate, I'm just at the back of scoring 25 goals. Like, if you put that in the context, 7 times 4, 320 quid a month. Plus I was scoring goals, so you add an extra, say score a goal a game, there's 40 quid on top of that. You know, that's 360 quid a month of just playing something I love, like doing something I love. So, well, what would be the downside to that? And yeah, had the discussion with the first team manager again. And the problem is with this story is that the team that came in for me says, look, you have to let me know within the hour if you're going to sign. So I rang the first team manager up of Ballyclare and he says to me, look, I'll be honest, you're not going to get that money anywhere else, but I would go if I was you. The problem is, he says, once you go down the leagues, it's hard to get back up to them leagues again. So 1 league of Irish League to 3 leagues below that. And yeah, I decided to hit, I decided to move team and I thought, yes, I'm getting paid money to play football, like decent enough money here, like X Man said. The problem with that is the manager in Ballyclare, as he says to me, he says, look, as well, mate, I didn't understand what he was trying to tell me at the time, but essentially what he was saying as well, when you go down to that standard, then players, you may be the best player there when you first come, but there's a high chance you'll go drop to their level, to their standards, and if not, get worse, which happened to me. To be honest, I actually fell in love with football to the point where I was actually going to training, like I don't even want to be here. Like, I'd rather go to boxing training, which I started doing towards the end of playing for that team. I was like, nah, fuck this. And that's where I realised, don't just do things for money, because I was in a club that respected me, liked me, and that I was actually enjoying football. And there was a higher standard, playing with better players as well. So don't just do things for money. And the reason why I say for money full stop, another scenario that comes to mind is my mate Danny Malloy. He'll not mind me saying this. He says to me, Jack, why do you have to do it for money? Why do you have to do this for money? Why do you have to do that? Why does it always have to be about money? And then I thought to myself, like, that's so true. Like, I was telling him I would love to be able to play guitar, I'd love to learn Spanish, I'd love to actually coach a football team, X, Y, and Z, but that's not going to pay my bills, it's not going to bring money in the door, X, Y, and Z. And then he says to me, why does it have to be for money, Jack? And it got me thinking, true, like, if I enjoy something and it's happy, why does money have to come into play? Yes, obviously you need money to pay the bills, X, Y, and Z, but you can still do stuff. It doesn't necessarily bring you money, but builds you fulfillment and joy. So that's the first lesson learned. Now it's time to meal prep. Right, lads, time to get the Tesco. Let's go. What you'll realise when it comes to my dad is that Monday to Friday, it just doesn't change. I eat the exact same things, and even Saturday and Sunday, some days too, to be honest. It's simple, quick and easy. Like, see, when you meal prep, it is just simple, quick and easy, microwave job. And to be honest, what more does a man want? Like, and yes, I understand it's plain for quite a lot of people as well, completely understandable. Like, but if it's not broke, then why try and fix it? Don't I mean? Like, this current moment in time, I'm very intentional with what I eat too. The reason why I'm very intentional is because I save calories over for the weekend so that I can have a wee treat, you know what I mean? Fancy terminology called calorie banking. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, I will make a video on that if you would like. Here's a wee tip for you, right? If you have a Tesco that has a big, massive car park right at the back, you'll get extra steps in. I'm not gonna act like I do this all the time because I don't, like, but if you're struggling, it could be a good idea. Like, you're welcome. I'm here all week. Right, users, we got the goods. I'll tell you what, see the price of things these days, it is absolutely insane. Like I was checking how much money I spent there the previous week and see the amount of money I spend just on food alone. Like, it's because I eat pretty healthy most of the time, like, so, and then if I'm not eating healthy, I'm eating out, and it's not like, do you know what I mean? So pretty expensive. Like, you'd rather spend my money on good quality food and healthy food than spending on poor food and then having to look after your health way more down the line. So I suppose it's an investment and a good investment. Second lesson I wish I knew earlier would be intentional with your dreams, lives and goals. Intentional for me is another word for obsessed, to be honest. The reason being, when I look back at the things I've achieved and the things I became obsessed with or intentional with, they fucking happened. And the reason why they happened is because I put the time, effort and energy into achieving them. For example, if I think about football, there was a season I got 25 goals, and the reason why I got them 25 goals is because I got clear on what I wanted. Once you get clear on what you want, and I worked like an absolute dog to get there. I was training at least a minimum 7 times a week when it came to just football alone, and that doesn't include all the extra gym stuff, X, Y, and Z. Then on top of that there, I was playing football again 7 times a week, as already mentioned. I'd be telling my mates literally before matches I was going to score a hat-trick, and then I would score a hat-trick. I believed in myself that much because not only did I have a clear goal and purpose and reason why I was doing the thing, I was also putting in the fucking work to get there. So when you become intentional, or as I would say, obsessed, things just start to happen. Like, even when I think back to when I got my home gym, I was working in a warehouse and everyone was wondering, Jack, why are you so happy to be working here? What the hell? Like, why are you not in such a bad mood or giving off bad vibes, or I couldn't be bothered energy? Like, what's going on? What's wrong with you? And the reason being is because I had a reason why I was there. I knew every time I worked one shift, I was a shift closer to where I wanted to be, which was getting that home gym and having enough money for that goal. And it's funny, once I got enough money to actually be able to have that home gym that I created, I absolutely hated that job. But beforehand, I was loving it. I was like, mate, this is class. I'm literally getting so much closer to where I want to be with that home gym, because I became obsessed. I was looking at how much the dumbbells cost, how much this going to actually cost in total to actually get this home gym up and running, X, Y, and Z. Like, I was literally, that's all I thought about, literally. So, and then the last point I would actually address there when it comes to being obsessed and being intentional with your life, dreams and goals is my photo shoot I done, which was last year. I became obsessed. In fact, as soon as I started working towards it, a couple of weeks in, I already felt like I was already in the best shape of my life. The reason being, because I knew where I was going. I knew the inputs and things I needed to do in order to achieve that goal. I got really fucking clear on what I wanted, and I actually set myself a goal of getting 77.7 kilos it was for the photo shoot, and I excelled that by a mile with 2 weeks left to spare. And the reason being is because I took the action, put in the work, and I did not miss. There was days where I could not be bothered, but I knew the dream, I knew the goal, and I knew what I wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I knew how to get there. And it was just a case of putting in the work and showing up whenever I could be bothered. So yeah, be intentional with your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations, whatever they may be. And trust me, when you become obsessed, when you become intentional, you will get there 110%. And that's not me to say it'd be easy, because when I look back, none of that shit was easy. But when you have a purpose and you know what you want to achieve, you know, it's up to you. You put in the work, and there's no reason why you can't achieve it. That's why I believe manifestation too. Like, oh yeah, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z. I manifest that shit. Yeah, you also got to put in the work too, and that byproduct of putting in the work, that's when manifestation becomes real for me anyway. And that's how I manifest things. When I come obsessed, that's all I think about. That's all I do, as well as thinking about. Yeah, that's a manifestation for me. But anyway, let's get some meal prepping done. Ladies and gentlemen, I will hold my hands up. I can only apologise. Forgot to record the rest of this video, so let's get it. The next life lesson I wish I knew earlier was take yourself serious, or no one else will. So here's the backstory. I was doing a talk in front of all my clients. Clients weren't engaged. They were laughing. They were talking to each other, X, Y, and Z. And I could have became a part of the act. I could have started laughing. I could have started doing X, Y, and Z. But when I was talking about something serious. And because I kept my cool and still acted serious, they had no other choice but to take me serious, because I was taking myself serious, if that makes sense. So yes, take yourself serious, or no one else will. As well as what way you dress, people also start to take you serious. Like when you get a fresh haircut and you walk into that shop or wherever you're going, people treat you better. I suppose another way of saying it is when you respect yourself, other people start to respect you as well. So yeah, take yourself serious or no one else will. The weather outside is breathful, and since we got no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Tell you what, this weather has been absolutely awful. I'm just out getting some steps here, but yeah, over January, apparently there was just a stat that came out that it's the most it's rained in like 150 years in January, which is crazy. Like, so hopefully February has a little less rain and a little more sunshine. Touch wood, fingers crossed. Like, don't see, I've got a story for you here, right? So I thought I would treat myself to a new pair of boots, right? Because, you know, why not? I needed a new pair and all the rest of it, right? Literally played with them about 3 times, and last night, look what happened. You see that? Don't know if you can see that, but they're already talking to me. Raging, absolutely raging, like. So hopefully I can send them back and get my money back, because that's just not what they're wanting, like. I mean, like, fuck. See, I've just realised that the other boot is also got a hole in them already too. Like, what the hell? Were you set? Were you focused? I'm going. And the next life lesson I learned was take yourself serious or no one else will. Let me explain. It wouldn't be long getting frostbite. So right now I'm waiting for one of my clients who's doing a photo shoot on the 18th of April. So we're taking him for an in-person session at the moment. But that brings me on to the next life lesson I wish I knew earlier. Knowing what you want is hard. Getting there is easy. When I think about when I done my photo shoot, I was doing everything. I was playing football, I was doing high rocks, I was doing X, Y, and Z. But I wasn't sticking to my standards of sticking to the calories, getting the steps in, and all the rest of it. When I got clear on what I wanted, which was at the time when I done that photo shoot, and when I got specific with what I wanted to achieve, the deadline on when I wanted it to be done for, everything else became easy. Well, to some degree anyway. Once you know what you want, it is so much easier to get there. Another scenario is bringing up the 25 goal season. I became obsessed. I want 25 goals by the end of the season. See, when I knew I wanted that, and I started acting like the person who could score 25 goals, that is how I got there. But as soon as I knew what I wanted, getting there was the easy bit, because I decided, I got clear on what it was. This is the goal, this is the deadline, this is the end of the season. Took it match by match, game by game, training by training, day by day. So yeah, knowing what you want is hard. Getting there is actually the easy bit. Know what you want, pick the deadline, and then start working backwards from the goal you set. What is the one thing that will move the needle forward in order for me to achieve that goal? Now, the next life lesson I wish I knew earlier. Self-love comes from sticking to the promises you made with yourself. When I think about the time when I was most confident in my body and in myself, it's because I wrote out the day of what I wanted to get done that day, and I stuck it to a fucking T. Confidence comes from having an undeniable stack of proof of being who you say you are. It's a sign of self-love and self-respect whenever you train the body, train the mind, whenever you say you're going to do something and then you work towards it and get that shit done, regardless of how you may feel. And I get it, it is not easy, and I can't say anything. I've been in the past, I've been stuck, I've been X, Y, and Z. But when you start to stick to your promises, that is where self-love is built. And I know it's not easy. It is, and by all means, it is definitely not easy. One word that helps me and could help you is momentum. Start small and then build up and build momentum. Pro tip, get your phone out and set a timer, a 1 hour timer. You're not like on that phone, all they're going to do is the one thing that will move the needle forward. Lastly but not least, the quality of your life is determined by the questions you ask yourself. What questions have you been avoiding that you need to start asking? For me, every Sunday I like to go on reflection mode. What went well this week, what didn't go so well, and how I can improve. I done that for a year, and it was one of the best things I ever done. That way I knew what wasn't working, I knew what was working, I know the steps that I needed to take in order to improve. What questions have you been avoiding? How can you start asking yourself more of them questions to get you moving in the right direction? Before I end this video, just know, like, imperfect action is the way forward. You're not always going to be brilliant, you're not always going to be perfect, you're not always going to tick every single last box, but what we can do is do the best we can with the time we have. Have them shit days when things aren't going your way. Think about the one thing that will move the needle forward, and if you're able to do that one thing, if it only takes an hour or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, do that one thing and let momentum carry you through. Or maybe it's a case of your body and your mind telling you, look, we need to reset, refocus, and go again. This is a different type of video for me. It's not a traveling vlog style thing. I try to make it into some degree something like that, but we've done the best we can. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.